Hey everybody, today I want to tell you why my opinion of the Amico, whether it's going to come out or not, has actually changed in the past 24 hours. For the longest time, I always thought, for all the troubles the Amico had, that it would one day get released because there was too much money involved and too much pride involved. But now, after seeing everything going on, from the switch of the CEO, which is not the big deal, to looking at their financial status from this crowdfunder, that is the big deal. I now think there's a really good chance that this system will not come out. Not only that, two things. If it's me, I would never invest in this thing. Not this, especially here, especially at Start Engine. This is a Start Engine crowdfunder. Look at their rating at the Better Business Bureau. D+, basically 1 star out of 5. That's horrible. I would never invest in anything on Start Engine. And the fact that they have to go to Start Engine should tell you something. This is their 4th crowdfunding. How many companies need to do 4 different crowdfundings? They've done one on Republic, on Fig. They tried one on Fundable. I don't know if they had any success there. And now here they are at Start Engine. That should tell you something, that the big time investors are staying away from this, because if they had big time investors, they would never need to go to crowdfunding. At least that's what I read into it myself. So I would never do that. And I'm also telling you right now, if you have a pre-order in directly with Intellivision and you don't want to lose that $100, you may want to seriously consider asking for a refund now while you can. Now, if you have your pre-order at GameStop, it's probably safe, because I think if something happened to Intellivision and they went under, I think you could get your refund there. That's my assumption. But personally, if it was me, I would ask for my money back if you want to get anything back out of it. I'm not saying it's impossible for it to come out, but I think it's going to take a financial miracle if it's going to happen. And I'll explain why and go into all the things I discovered looking through all the kind of offering details in this site. This is just crazy. So here we are at the campaign page. Now, usually when you do crowdfunding, the lion's share happens early on. So to give you an idea, let's go to their Republic campaign, perhaps their most successful campaign. They raised, according to the campaign page, about $11 million. And this is a screen grab from 3 days in. I can't find one earlier. 3 days in, they had over $7 million. So they had over half of what they would get within 3 days. Over 2,000 investors, 2,620. This was 3 days in. All right. So we go from that to Start Engine, $37,000, 33 investors in 2 days. And here at Start Engine, they offer early bird specials. Basically, if you invest in the first 72 hours, you get a 15% bonus. So if you're going to invest, this is the time you'd want to invest. This number has not changed much in the past 24 hours. It's been in the 30,000s. And you might say $37,000, that's a lot. To a lot of people, that's a lot of money. But when you're trying to raise $5 million, $37,000 is not a lot. To put it in perspective, that'd be like if you're trying to raise, let's say, $500. And all of you've raised so far is $3.77. That's basically the ratio. So let me go through this page, and then I'm going to dig into some details for y'all. So here we are at the main page. And by the way, I did see this family trailer. I did think it was well produced for the most part. I did like that they had a professional announcer, not Tommy. I don't like that they recycled gameplay footage from a year ago and that it turned into an investment trailer. Basically, this was an investor trailer in disguise. So let's scroll down here. Yeah, there's 3 billion gamers, and they want to get some of them. I laughed at this picture, complicated versus simple, because look at the complicated systems like the NES with its 2 buttons and a D-pad. So complicated. So complicated. So we go through this some more. And then they show a gameplay video, which is basically the same thing they showed a year ago. Talk about the market, their potential. $25 million in total pre-orders. This includes pre-orders and direct. So their direct pre-orders, the last number I heard was 6,000, which does not add to 25 million. So they may have open purchase orders or something along those lines with like Best Buy and Walmart. But I think those possibly could get canceled at any time, that it's not guaranteed. So I don't know that this that 25 million is guaranteed at all. At all. I don't think, I mean, even their pre-orders is not guaranteed because they took $100. What if the person doesn't pay the rest? So I think this is misleading. I will say that this purple Amico does look nice. So does the wood grain. I actually like the look of that. I don't care much for the white. In the press, it just goes to their own press release page, not like mainstream media or anything like that. And we go down here and we go to the offering details. So let's look at the offering details. This is where things really get interesting. So here it is. I want you to know that they signed this document. If you go to last page, I'll go to last page. This is a 76-page document. I'm not going to go through all of it, but this was signed on January 19th, 2022. So 3 weeks ago. So you have to remember that this is based on information from 3 weeks ago. Information can change. And it's interesting that this address they give in Utah, it's not an office. It is the home of one of their employees. That's what they're using for their address. And I also know that they're like incorporating, they're going from an LLC to an incorporation, and they're incorporating in Delaware. This is like something that's just recently been happening. So that's kind of curious that they're kind of moving everything around, if you will. So like state of incorporation, Delaware, that's new. The date of incorporation, well, that's when they first started, I believe, when they became Intellivision Entertainment. I don't believe that's when I think the incorporation is still going on. So this is basically more like stocks. This is not revenue sharing. This is like a stock thing where people are actually going to own a piece of the company, but it may not be something that you want to really get into right now. I know it might be attractive to own a piece of a retro gaming studio, but don't know if this is the time. And they say right here that they have an agreement with FIG, so they owe money to FIG as well, not just to the people who revenue share here. They talk throughout this paper how the shares could get diluted, so you might end up owing less than what you initially think you own. That is a possibility. They, of course, say that there's a lot of risks, that you shouldn't invest any money you cannot afford to lose. So we're going to go through this, and they go through some of the history of it and talk about how in 1997, two former Mattel electronic engineers, Keith Robinson and Steve Rooney, acquired the rights to the Intellivision assets and formed Intellivision Productions. And then here in 2017, Keith Robinson passed away tragically. With the support of Stephen Rooney, Intellivision Productions, the original Intellivision Games assets, trademarks were purchased by Intellivision Entertainment, LLC, led by Tommy Tallarico. So that means Intellivision Entertainment owns everything Intellivision related that they have, the trademarks. They own Astro Smash. They own the old games that they made themselves. They own the Running Man logo, the Intellivision name. If anything happens to Intellivision Entertainment, if they go bankrupt, there is a distinct possibility that some other person or company could end up buying all the old Intellivision stuff. It could even become just part of some holdings company who doesn't plan to do anything with it. I know like the Coleco name is just part of a holdings company, or someone like Nintendo could buy it. I'm not saying they will. And they say that today they have 41 full-time personnel, which I believe at some point Tommy said that they had 60. So I don't know if they laid off people or those people were considered part-time. I have heard of someone no longer working for them. I don't know what exactly is going on there, but it is possible some people got laid off. They talk about the retail price being between $249.99 and $349.99. That is insane. And Phil Adams was on a stream just this weekend, and he did hint that basically the price is going up. That in order for them to be profitable, they have to charge more. I thought $250 was too much. $349 for a system that started at $149 to $179. To go from $149.99 to $349.99, a $200 increase, more than double your original low end. That is just crazy, absolutely crazy. And the games, they're going up officially from $499 to $1999. When originally this began, the games were supposed to be affordable, $299 to $799. Then they bumped it up to $999, and now they're telling you flat out Those game prices are going up. So much for the affordability, one of the pillars. They also talk how they have they hold trademarks, including Astro Smash. That's not a surprise. Jungle Hunt and Bump and Jump. Did they buy the rights to the Jungle Hunt and Bump and Jump name? Or were they like those names ignored? Like they didn't get relicensed and they found it and picked it up. I didn't know that they owned the trademarks to it. Because they talk about stuff they have licensed. They actually say that they have R-Type licensed. I was surprised to see that name in this document. But there's a difference between owning a trademark and a license. So I'm surprised that they apparently own the trademarks to Jungle Hunt and Bump and Jump. Maybe just the names, maybe not the games, but they know they own the name. So here's where things get more interesting. This is page 8. After 3 years of hard work, Intellivision is actively preparing for the launch of the Intellivision Amico within the next 6 months. This was written in January. That means by July. On their website, they still have Q1, last I checked, as their target release. Now they're looking at summer, which I did some math in a video, and I predicted, according to the math, it would be summer before they released it if they did. Initial focus on North America and fulfilling pre-orders. Manufacturing capacity will begin at a moderate pace. When you read that sentence, manufacturing capacity will begin, that tells me they haven't even started manufacturing this yet. There is no way, if that's the case, and I didn't believe it was the case anyways, but there's no way Q1's going to happen. I believe that they need money to manufacture, and that's what they're waiting for, and that's why they're doing this crowd campaign. And about 30 days ago, Nick Richards said that they would be given a shipping update around this time, and I don't believe you will hear any shipping update until they assess how much money they make to see if this thing's even coming out. And even if they do manufacture, it's going to start out slow, $2,000 to $5,000 a month. This is mind-boggling. They haven't even begun the manufacturing. When they told people in an email in the fall, or was it August, late last year, they told people, we're going to work hard to get systems to the pre-order people by the end of the year. We're going to do everything we can to do it. They were just stringing people along. That's what it sounds like now. They've been stringing people along waiting for money. I don't know. I don't think they've had a parts issue as much as they've had a money issue. They didn't have money to start the factory to get it going. Let's see what else we have on this page. So they say that the system is 100% complete, the hardware, but the firmware and operating system is 95% complete. Do you even manufacture a system until that's complete? I don't know. Maybe you do, and then you upload it later or do it through a firmware update. But I would think if I was running a company, the system doesn't get manufactured until it's this stuff, the firmware and OS is complete, because you want to put that in the completed system. When a system comes off the line, you want to be able to test it. And they talk about how they do want to do NFTs. I know that's been kind of a thing. They say that they have 50 games in development. By the way, that could just mean that they have an idea for 50 games, not that they have programmers actively programming those games. With approximately 15 games planned for launch, including 6 games that are included with the system. So that's 9 additional games. There was 8 physical editions, so you could do the 8 games and 1 other maybe. I don't know. But I do know that there was confusion because recently we've heard people say, Tommy said that they will have 20 games at launch, and this document says it's going to be 15 games. All right, so let's see. They talk about their $5 million pre-orders and their initial pre-orders of 26,000 units, which was a $100 deposit, which, by the way, that's $260,000 they have in deposits just from the Founders Editions if they still have them all. They need that money. If they go under, those people might never see that money. They might never see that money. So let's keep going on. Here you can see Tommy Tallarico, if you're interested, what some of the people make. Currently making $81,000. Last year, $96,000. Let's see what some of the other people. Nick Richards makes $81,000, same as Tommy. Some of these people, they're kind of in name only. They only work 0.25, 15 minutes a week in their role. So they just are like advisors or whatever. They don't really do much. We'll get to this guy, this Sudesh guy, in a minute. Phil Adam, making $37,000, 2021, $105,000. And they have like stock options in some of these as well. So that's what some of the people are making. John Alvarado, one of the big money guys, making $174,000 right now. They really need him to finish the system. Rob Johnson, $152,000. So they're just sharing some of the various expenses they have in payroll. So here we talk about the risks, and this is where it continues to get interesting. By the way, I don't know if it says if I'm going to go over it, but they're trying to raise $10 million total. $5 million from here, $5 million from other outside investors. Even if the maximum amount is raised, the company is likely to need additional funds in order to grow. If it cannot raise those funds for whatever reasons, it may not survive. So there's a chance that this company, they admit, and they have to legally, that it may not survive. We may never have an operational product or service. They might never have an operational product. There's been so many guarantees. Let's go skip ahead to page 23. But that's the truth. There may never be a product. I don't know why this was put in here twice. I'm guessing it was just a copy and paste error. Disputed prepayment for electronic components at risk of partial or complete loss. Intellivision paid $1.35 million in prepayments for electronic components to ARC Electronics due to contract dispute. The disposition of those funds are potentially at risk and may not be recoverable as cash or components. So they may have lost $1 million in this deal. That is crazy. Our auditor has a going concern opinion on our financial statements, which means that the auditor is not sure if we will be able to succeed as a business without additional financing. So their auditor says, I looked at this, it may not happen, which of course is true for a lot of businesses, but you look at these numbers and it's basically debt or just bad. Let's see. We have significant debt. I think later on we'll see that the debt is really bad. I mean, for at least in my opinion, it's bad. Let's see. What is there was something on this page I wanted to go over. This is the amount raised in this offering may include investment from company insiders or immediate family. A lot of people in the company have loaned money to keep this company going. And that's kind of weird. It's like there's a saying like you shouldn't loan money to family because it makes Thanksgiving weird or something like that. But they're borrowing money from themselves. So you could see right here that Tommy Tallarico owns 28%, 29 almost, of the stock. Steve Rooney, 23. Together they own over half the company. I don't know if at one point it was greater and they split it to sell, but he's not a majority holder, Tommy is, but together they are. So let's see. Page 37 I wanted to go to next. How long can this business operate without revenue? Based on our current fundraising strategy, so this is assuming they fundraise the money they need, they estimate the company can operate until July without revenue. But what happens if they don't? What happens if they don't? Then they're in trouble. Let's see. Currently, the company has multiple active fundraising initiatives, Start Engine being one. We are currently engaged with accredited investors of up to $5 million in common stock at the same share price. We have already raised $1.6 million. In addition, we're in discussion with a strategic distribution partner to receive prepayments. The total target raise for this round is $5 million. If the funds for the campaign are the funds for the campaign necessary to the viability. Funds from the Start Engine campaign are very important to them. Let me see. We'll go down here. This is it. This is the big one. How long will you be able to operate company if you raise the minimum? The minimum amount of the Start Engine offering is $10,000. Limiting the offering would likely be only the case of raising funds, yada, yada, yada. If no other source of capital are raised, and if only the minimal is raised as the part of this CF offering, the company would only have operating cash for 1 or 2 months. That's the dagger. And remember, this was written three weeks ago. That means that if you say a month is 4 weeks, so 2 months is 8 weeks, that means they have about 5 weeks of operating cash left, unless they've gotten other investors. And they may have. And they're trying to. But right now, unless you hear otherwise, it's not good. They're trying to get $100 million line of credit for manufacturing. They haven't got it yet, but they're trying to get that. And just about done. Here's all their debts. $1.6 million, $1.9 million, board loan, 2 board members, $400,000. Sudesh, this guy, check this out. The company agreed to pay the fees and costs on or before December 31st, 2021, and to pay $100 for each Intellivision Amico sold by the company until the balance of $675,000 is paid. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Until they sell that many systems to pay $100 a pop. Every system gets $100. And that's on top of what they're going to owe FIG and other investors. How much would you have paid for all the Intellivision stuff, all their IPs? Because they purchased it for a sum of $150,000 to Blue Sky Rangers. And here's the debts. Tommy Tellerico loaned money. Nick Richards loaned money. I mean, all these people are owed money. Stephen Roney loaned money. These are all their debts. And so, let me go to page, let me see, where is it at? Where they go over their debts. Okay, this is page 55. This is from an audit. Their liabilities. Previous year, $706,000 total. Last year, 2020. That's just 2020. That's not even 2021. $8,725,000. And they have not been bringing in a lot of money. The last thing I'll show you. This is so sobering to me. Investment cancellations. If you've already invested, you can request cancellation. Investors will have up to 48 hours prior to the end of the offering period to change their minds and cancel their investment for any reason. Once it ends, they will not be able to cancel it. There's a chance. Let's go back up here. Let's see if there's been any change since I started recording this. No change at all. There's a chance that this number could go down. What these numbers tell me, and I'll let you decipher for yourself, but what they tell me is that this company is on the verge of bankruptcy if they don't get money right away. They need money. That's why I'm telling people, if it was me, I wouldn't invest. This is a terrible site to invest in, according to the Better Business Bureau. If you have a pre-order, if a company goes bankrupt, the pre-orders are usually the last thing to get paid back. I hope that if they were going to go bankrupt, they would do the right thing, and before it, they would refund all the pre-orders. There's no guarantees, though. I mean, if a few Founders Editions get out and that's it, yeah, they could be valuable in the future. They could be a nice collectible and a piece of video game history, but there's a chance not one will leave the line because the line hasn't started. And I believe that they've known this when they were telling people, hey, we'll try it by Christmas. Hey, Q1, we're going to give a shipping date soon. I don't think you get that shipping date until you learn about this. Until a big announcement happens, either they actually start manufacturing or they announce that the dream's coming to an end. This might be my last dedicated Amico video. I would not be surprised if in a couple months we hear that they're closing the doors. I don't wish it on them. And I don't want to see the Intellivision property end up on the auction block and some company that doesn't really care much about the games but just wants to license it out here and there buys it. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see my friends who put money down for a pre-order never get their system, maybe lose their money. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see all the people who invested money into this thing find out that they're not getting any money back. I don't want to see that happen. But I believe that people have a right to know the truth, and the truth is it doesn't look good. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you next time.